Hello, I'm Rachel. Welcome to my channel. It is time for another week of What's for Dinner. Now, people keep telling me that I can't do it all and that I don't have to do it all, but when you have grandkids that want to play board games and gardens that need to be rototilled, you kind of have to do it all. And on this day, we were busy getting it all done. And that included making a big dinner for a big family. We had kids show up for dinner. It was unplanned, so I had to come up with something fast. And the quickest thing that I could come up with that I had in my pantry was lasagna. So here I am just kind of hurrying along and getting a big pan of lasagna made up. I had browned up my ground beef, and I have a little bit of sausage in this meat as well. My noodles, I boiled them and then realized I did not have enough, but I did find a couple of the no-boil noodles in my pantry, so I threw those in too. We had been outside building a sandbox for the kids, a sand and a rock box to be exact, and we were using some scraps of wood that we had, and so it was just that kind of day, building a scrappy sandbox and kind of piecing together a lasagna. I just continued with those layers of sauce and meat until I got to the middle layer and I wasn't quite sure what to do. Having so many people coming over that day, I was kind of worried about putting ricotta or cottage cheese in the middle because not everybody likes ricotta or cottage cheese. So I opted just to put in a layer of provolone slices, which I sometimes do anyway, and I know that it tastes really good. So that way it was just nice and cheesy, but not offensive to anyone. And I just finished off this lasagna with more layers of noodles, meat, and cheese and sauce until it was all done. But my granddaughter Ava had told me that kids don't like lasagna, so I just saved some of that meat aside and added some spaghetti sauce to it and made up a pan of spaghetti because she said kids do like spaghetti. And she was right, because the kids all ate spaghetti and some of the grown-ups did too. I think we ended up with 13 mouths that day to feed, and I was pretty proud of myself for whipping up a lasagna and a pan of spaghetti as well as some poor man's breadsticks and getting everybody fed without having to make a run to the store. And to think that is only about half of our family. When Monday morning rolled around, I was super tired, of course, from our busy weekend. So about 6:45 in the morning before I left from work, I just got a roast and some carrots and onions started in the crock pot. I just seasoned that up with some gravy packets, a little bit of water, and some salt and pepper and a little dried thyme, and let it go for the day. Ever feel like you need to recover from the weekend? I know I always do. Mondays are hard for me. We're just recovering from everything that happened over the week and all the stuff that we're trying to catch up for the week ahead. So today I opted for a crock pot meal. So hopefully when I come home, dinner will be ready. After work today, I'm going to the movies with my daughter. That's not usually something that I do on a weekday, but it was the only time that we could make it work, so it is what it is. But anyway, dinner's ready. I'm ready for work, drinking coffee like it's my job. Just your typical Monday. When I got home from work, I just made a quick bowl of dinner. I just heated up some quinoa and poured my pot roast and my carrots and onions right on top of that. The guys, of course, had some mashed potatoes, but I was just trying to keep it quick and simple and easy on my tummy, and sometimes mashed potatoes are just a little too heavy for me. And I was off to the movies with my daughter to watch Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. On this day, I was out of ideas for what to make for dinner, so I just looked in my freezer. Now, when I cook, I usually make way too much food and end up having to freeze some of it, so I would just poked around until I found a bag of something, and I thought I was making chili until I opened it up and had it thawed out and realized that it was sloppy joes. So I just happened to have some hamburger buns in my pantry and was like, all right, we're gonna go with it. But to revive these sloppy joes a little bit, I decided to add some chopped up bell peppers and some onions. Adding some fresh ingredients is a great way to add new life to leftovers. The guys in my family can be a little weird about eating leftovers, but I didn't even tell them this time, and they just ate it up like it was made that same day. I'll link the Pioneer Woman's recipe for sloppy joes because hers is just like mine. Haha, that's a long-time joke of mine that she makes her sloppy joes like mine. It just kind of turned out to be a coincidence, but a good one. But since I never measure and she does, and I don't have a cookbook and she does, just go along and follow her recipe. For a side to go with the sloppy joes, I made some fried potato salad. Now, while I was making this, I thought I invented it. But I did some research and Googled some recipes and looked on Pinterest and realized there are several versions of fried potato salad out there, and I did not invent it. Oh well. So all I did was fry up some potatoes in some of that bacon grease. I had my bacon on the side cooling. I removed my fried potatoes from that grease onto a paper towel and just let them cool down. And I got busy boiling up an egg. I only had one egg. Now, I'm sure that more egg would have been more potato salady, but you do what you gotta do sometimes. And I only had the one egg. So, after my potatoes were all cooled down and my egg was boiled, I just let that sit there for a few minutes and get cool. I added about a half a cup of sour cream into my mixing bowl, and then I added about another cup or another half cup of mayo as well. I added a little bit of mustard because it sounded good, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and some paprika. And at this time, I was still just playing around with flavors because I thought I was inventing it. So I threw in a little bit of dried dill. I just stirred all of that around in my mixing bowl. I like to mix up my dressing for my salads ahead of time on their own before I add anything like my potatoes, or if I'm doing macaroni salad or coleslaw. I like to be able to mix up the dressing and then give it a taste, and then I can add more if I want to, depending on if it needs more seasonings or not. I just think this is an easy way to do it. I then added a little bit of mozzarella cheese because that's what I had on hand, and then I cut up some green onions. That is also what I had handy. I then put some of the egg and onion and potatoes into the bowl and then gave that a gentle stir to get that salad dressing all mixed in. I crumbled up some of that cooked bacon into small bite-sized pieces, and that is pretty much it for this salad. And like I said, this ended up not being my invention, but that's okay. It was really tasty. My guys really love this fried potato salad, and I will definitely have to make this again. The fried potatoes in this potato salad just added another layer of flavor that I just can't even explain. And in my opinion, even though eggs go in potato salad, this potato salad I think would have been just fine without eggs at all, and I probably will not add them the next time I make it, because the salad as it was without the eggs is more like a loaded baked potato. And so I just really didn't think that it needed the eggs, although it didn't hurt it any at all. It was now time to give the sloppy joes a stir and make sure that all the liquidy stuff in them was stirred in really good. If there's one meal in our household that is a family favorite, it has got to be sloppy joes. My family always gets so excited when they find out I'm making sloppy joes for dinner. The next day I had kind of hit that invisible wall. I told Bill that I just could not make dinner that night, and so we ended up going out to eat, and somehow we managed to do it with no kids, so I guess that technically counts as date night. But one night of not wanting to cook turned into two, only this time it was a fend for yourself night and not a takeout night. I opted to have a salad and some sliced avocado. The kids, I'm not sure what they did. And we also had another visit from our little 1-year-old granddaughter Joey this week. So as you can tell, it was just a busy week for us. But these are the kind of surprises that we like. I am just getting in my car and getting ready to head back to work. Oopsie, sorry about that. I'm hot. It's hot today. Sorry about that. Anyway, we finally are getting some sunshine and warm weather. It's actually about 70 degrees today, so that's exciting. Looks like we're gonna have a nice weekend. Looking forward to that. I don't have anything planned. I purposely made sure that we didn't have anything planned so that we could be spontaneous. So we shall see. Anyway, I was just getting done with my lunch break and kind of talking with Bill about what do we want to have for dinner. And surprisingly, he is asking for carbonara. And I do have some bacon that I cooked up a few days ago, and I put it in my freezer in a hiding spot. Yeah, I have to hide the bacon at our house. Sometimes if you put it in a place like with vegetables or something, you know, you can keep food safe there until you need it. So today will be that day, and I will be getting that bacon out of my freezer, saving myself some time. I just have to cook up the noodles, and I came across a recipe that is for smoked sausage and bacon carbonara. So we're going to give that a shot today and see how that goes. I'm sure we'll like it. We like most recipes that have smoked sausage. But unfortunately, I do have to go to the store after work. But that is something, you know, that is life. So I will be heading back to work, going to the store, coming home, making dinner, and then hello, weekend. To get this meal started, all I had to do was slice up some smoked sausage and get it cooking in a pan. I had already cooked up some bacon a few days earlier, and I just put that in my freezer, and so on this night I did not have to cook bacon, so that made preparing this meal so much easier. I did have some garlic that I put in my food processor and got it all minced up, boiled up some spaghetti noodles, and then removed all of the pieces of sausage that were just getting extra crispy. We didn't want them to be overdone, although a few did get pretty well burnt. And although we do like our smoked sausage pretty crispy, I didn't really want it to be overly cooked for this meal. Here I'm just melting down some bacon grease in my pan, and then I am sauteing up that minced garlic. Next, I sprinkled in some all-purpose flour to form a roux to be the base of this creamy garlic sauce. Normally, I would cook my bacon in the skillet and then just saute my garlic in that bacon grease, but it's all the same. Just use some bacon grease out of my refrigerator this time. And then once that flour is cooked for a few minutes and all of the flour taste is cooked away, I then added a small container of heavy whipping cream. And then I'm just going to get my whisk out and just whisk it until it is smooth and there are no lumps. Next, I added a little bit of black pepper, and I also added just a smidge of crushed red pepper. And this is just what my family prefers. You can season yours any way you want to. About this time, the sauce really started to get thick and bubbly, and that's when I added about half of the bag of Parmesan cheese and just got that all stirred in. I had to turn my heat down because it was really starting to thicken up. And then I just started to add those cooked spaghetti noodles right into the sauce. I reserved that pasta sauce in the pot and just used it here and there where needed while I was mixing in all of the remainder of the ingredients. Using that starchy pasta water is a great way to get your sauce to a nice creamy and rich texture. And normally I would temper an egg and add that to the sauce as well. And even though I had my eggs out, I just didn't feel like messing with it, so I didn't. And there were already so many rich flavors in this dish, I just didn't really need the egg after all, so I wasn't missing out on anything there. Once I got that sauce where I wanted it, I just started adding in my smoked sausage and bacon. And this turned out to be a pretty quick meal. It's also a family favorite. Although this is the first time that we've made it with sausage, it's really the bacon in this dish that my family loves so much. The sausage, however, is a great way to bulk it up and make this meal stretch if you have big appetites in your household like we do. And because I have an obsession with cheese, I sprinkled the rest of the bag on top. And then I just sprinkled on a little bit of Italian seasoning as well. I'm going to link the recipe that I used for inspiration for this meal in the description box. But to be honest, I only looked at the picture and the title. And that was how I was inspired. Anyway, to go along with this meal, I'm making some garlic toast using some sliced sourdough bread that I buttered and just sprinkled some garlic powder on. And voila, here is dinner. This is how everything turned out. I just heated up a can of French style green beans, and that's what we had on the side. And that was dinner. Our last meal that I am sharing for the week is tacos. Now, we are just your average American family that eats tacos about once a week, and we just love them. And they're easy, so why not? Here I'm just cooking up some taco meat using some store-bought taco seasoning and some water. We're keeping it very simple here on this day because I had a very busy day, was installing the last of my kitchen cabinets and made a huge mess in my kitchen. I added some minced onion and some crushed red pepper to my taco seasoning, and here over by my stove area I am just chopping up some lettuce and some onions. We will be serving right off of the stove today because, like I said, I made a mess in my kitchen and I kind of had everything pulled out on my countertops, and so that is why we opted for this really simple, easy, and quick meal because, just to be honest, I was tired and there was a mess happening in the background. So anyway, lettuce and onions going in the bowl, and then we're just going to serve up our tacos. We intentionally did not make any plans for this Saturday and just wanted to start off our weekend by just seeing where the day takes us. And my day ended up taking me on a huge decluttering and organization journey, and his ended up taking him on a truck repair mission, I guess. And then here we are just meeting up again full circle over tacos. Oftentimes for us, a busy work week rolls into a busy weekend and then turns into another busy work week. So having a day like this one where it was just a go with the flow kind of day is exactly what we need every now and then. Even though I was home all day doing a little bit of this or that, it was about 5 o'clock and I realized that I had not even thought about what we were going to have for dinner, and so I just decided that tacos would be the quickest and easiest thing to make in a pinch, and tacos have come to my rescue more than one time in my life. Trust me, it is a go-to when I need something quick that I know everyone will love. Tacos have never been a fail in this house. Once I had the onions and lettuce all chopped up, I just put everything in bowls or just, set everything alongside the stove here so that people could just make their plates right here. I didn't have much counter space on this day, so we were kind of limited in where we could make our plates, but here I'm just showing you how everyone is getting their tacos ready, and Cameron is making his soft shell tacos the way that he likes them, which is simply with some cheese and lettuce, and then he topped his tacos with some Doritos as well. He said he kind of wanted taco salad, but he wanted tacos too, so he was just going to add some Doritos on his tacos. Next, I'm just showing how Bill and I made our tacos as well, and these are not the prettiest plates, but they were delicious plates. We're not fancy around here most of the time. It's just about getting the family fed, eating the foods that we like the way that we like them. I decided to have a combination of soft tacos and crunchy tacos, and a while back I had Bill ask for some sauce packets at Taco Bell, and I kid you not, they gave him so many packets there was enough to fill up a gallon size zip top bag, and so I decided to pull that bag out and use them on this night. I don't know what that person was thinking when they gave him so many sauces, but we'll be using those for a while. When I was making my tacos, Bill asked why I put my cheese on the bottom, and I told him so that it would be nice and melty, but since I love cheese so much, I added it to the top too. He must have thought it was a good idea because he put his cheese under his taco meat when he made his tacos as well. Well, that's enough taco talk for now. If you made it this far, thank you so much for coming by and checking out this week's video. I hope that you found some kind of inspiration here this week. I look forward to reading the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.